Hey everybody, my name is Josh. I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a rundown about Corrections Academy and what to expect in corrections and kind of the outlook of which way it's going right now. So my name's Josh. I've got about 6 years corrections experience. I worked in 2 states. Currently I'm in my 2nd state right now, and I love it. I think it's a great career. You're not going to get calluses on your hands. You're pretty much basically going to be sitting around, hanging out. So you got to learn a lot of patience, and you'll be doing walking around depending on what your post is going to be. So what to expect in the academy. So you applied to be a corrections officer. Basically, day one, they're kind of probably going to get you fitted for your uniform and stuff, have you fill out basic job paperwork, emergency contacts, stuff for your medical, and of course taxes. Pretty much what to expect in the academy. About the first half of it will be academics. Basically introduction to corrections, some of the rules, some of the state laws, and staff from other facilities might come and introduce herself. Then you're going to learn about stuff like PREA and stuff like first aid, bloodborne pathogen stuff, a lot of that stuff before you start getting into the OC and the defensive tactics and cell extractions. And if your facilities or the state that you work for requires you to do be firearms certified. I know mine does, and everybody had to pass the firearms and get certified to continue their career. Now they did get a chance after they passed all their tests in the academy. It's usually you have a test about once a week at the end of the week, and it's over what you learned that week to make sure you have an understanding of it. Basically the academy is not that bad. It's a lot of sitting around, a lot of classroom work, some hands-on stuff. They're trying to keep people engaged in that. Always ask questions. You don't want to be that one going to court for a lawsuit once you start your job and you did something against policy and procedure than what you're supposed to do. Basically, the OC in that is, it burns. If you ever got squirted any lemon juice in your eye, or I mean anything that would hurt your eye, peppers, rub peppers on the underneath your eyes here and your face, that's what it feels like. It's not bad. A lot of people freak out about it. A lot of people handle things different ways, but it burns. Depending on your state, you might get sprayed with OC, and you might get I know we got an eye drop right here in our eye, and we had to tilt our heads back and drop a little eye, and it felt like sand grinding in there, and it was burning. It's totally food grade stuff, so it's not going to hurt you at all. But the way you handle it, you know, that's everybody's different. So it's a fun time, pretty much. You only do it one time while you're with that department, unless they every year they want you to do it, or every couple years. But the couple facilities I've been at, we've done it one time in the academy, and that was it. The only thing you continue to do is training your CPR every year, your defensive tactics every year, stuff like that, and then you go over your basics. So I guess we'll jump right into what to expect on your first full week. Most facilities do an on-the-job training, so you're gonna have to do that for like pretty much probably your first week. Make sure you have an understanding, get signatures on the different kinds of things you gotta do, restraining inmates, maybe escorts, maybe some fire safety, pretty much just the basic stuff when you start any new job at a new place. You should get assigned a post, maybe a shift. Depending on your shift or your facility, you might work 3 shifts. You might work 2 12-hour days, so you might only have 2 shifts. Right now I'm on, 2nd shift, so I work a lot of overtime on first shift, and I might work a 16-hour day. But we all know that corrections is in need of staff, good people, and anybody can do it. It's just on how you handle it. So basically your first day, you're going to get to learn to know everything, try and get to know your staff, who you're going to be working with, who's going to help you out in case you're in a bad situation. During the academy, you'll get issued some items. I don't know what items you'll get, but I know when you get out, you're going to get some OC and some handcuffs. Basically, pretty much your basic stuff. So my facility in my state, they issued, pretty much at our facility, they issued us Mark 9s. Now, Mark 9s are crowd control. But basically, if you have a few inmates fighting, it's good to pull out your Mark 9. Pull the pin just like a fire extinguisher, break the seal, make sure you get a new one, make sure you report everything, and just quick burst. You don't need a lot. So they'll teach you that in the academy. But my facility, they issued this, and it goes on my belt, which I'm going to grab that. So I like to keep handcuffs up front, and I like to keep my handcuffs up front in case I need them right away. A lot of people like to put them back behind them. That's not a good thing to put them back behind you, from what I was told. But if they're in the small of your back, which I see a lot of people have that, or they'll have their radio back by there. Now, if you get knocked back in your butt, that's going to hit your spine there. That's not going to feel good. You might have some injury later on down the road, maybe some dislocated discs. So I like to keep mine up front. So my handcuffs are up front, and they'll teach you in the academy a good way to place them, hopefully, and hold on to your cuffs in case you have to restrain an inmate pretty quick. So that's that's in your defensive tactics. That's what it is. Next thing I have is these belt clips here. I have 3 of them. The first one's for my regular keys at work, or my work keys. My second one is for my Mark 9. Slides right on there, and then it has a strap down here. It's going to go around my leg. And then my third one is for like my car keys, my truck keys, your basic little keys. And then I have my little guy. Now this is basically good for maybe a couple inmates face to face with an inmate. Pull this one out real quick and kind of display it. Make sure you give them orders, and they'll teach that in the academy. You give them multiple orders to stop what they're doing, or you will spray them. A lot of them don't like it. They will back down from it. A lot of them will start getting a little bit more hostile, and as soon as you spray them, they might lunge at you. So just be ready for that, and try to talk your way out of the situation. Try to reason with them, and again, they should be teaching that in the academy because corrections is changing. Next I have is my belt keepers. Usually your department will issue these belt keepers, or you might have to purchase them online. There's a lot of sites you can go purchase them online. I go to like LA Police Gear or copsplus.com, and they have a lot of stuff on there for law enforcement, stuff for corrections. I can tell you I got this belt here. It's a 511 black belt. So I put this on. This is my belt for my pants. Just put it through there, and then I take my duty belt here and I strap it on, and then I take my belt keepers and I put them through that belt and then around my duty belt, and that's what holds it up on my waist. I like this thing. This thing's pretty cool. They come in a few different sizes. So again, it's a 511 tactical belt. Set that aside. We'll set that aside. Next I have my department. We have swivels for our radios here. Now our radios go upside down, then they twist in there, and that stays back. And I usually have it over here on my side. So not directly on my spine, but on my side. You take your radio, I like to bring my radio mic underneath my armpit and strap it up here. Now a lot of other people like to put theirs across their back somehow. Think about it. If you have someone come up behind you and your radio strap is going across your back, all that inmate has to do is grab that radio, and he can grab that wire and put it right up around you and choke you. So I like to bring mine up underneath here. So next one I have is I have a pouch for my gloves. This was issued from my department. The gloves are issued from my department. I just restock it when I use it. They're very good to get in the habit if you go on medical emergencies. Any kinds of fight that includes blood. There's a lot. You don't know what anybody has in there. There's a lot of different things inside the prison. It's not a clean environment, but they try their best to keep it clean. A lot of inmate porters that do an okay job depending on his. Next I have is, they're called chits. They're called different things in different states. One of the other states that I worked at, they're called POGs. I believe every department in the U.S. here has chits, and you usually get issued about 6 or 8 of them. You'll use them to trade in for keys or radios or any other equipment from main control. Accountability is big. We don't want other inmates to have it. If you lose it, then they know who had it, and sometimes you might lock a building down or lock a certain area down to go find items that you might be missing. So make sure you report important things like that. Then I got my badge here. Not every state has a badge because the back part on it has a little needle point on it and could be used as a weapon. You never know. As for boots, I know some of the videos I saw, people were wondering about boots. I have a nice 511 boot here, 511 tactical boot, specific. No steel toe. You don't wear a steel toe in prisons. You don't want to get in an altercation with an inmate and accidentally kick him in the shin and you have a steel toe on. That wouldn't look good in court. So you think about what wouldn't look good in court if that inmate was to sue the department. Obviously you're held responsible for it. I have a side zip here. I like these. These are good boots. Make sure you look at reviews for when you go and check a boot out. I also have some insoles in here to keep my feet nice and comfortable. So I have a short boot. A lot of people like the taller boots. It's whatever you prefer. I like the short ones. Make sure you got black socks. Black socks are part of the uniform. You know, they look better than white socks when you're sitting there and your pants are hiking up. Another thing, corrections. Working in the facility. Inmates are human beings. Always keep that in mind. They're a human being that did wrong, or they're just human beings. You need to respect them regardless of what their crime is, what they've done, anything like that. So basically what I'm saying is, if you have an inmate coming up to you screaming and yelling at you, what do? You listen to him. Don't say anything, don't cut him off, just listen to him. You're getting paid. You're just standing there. He's doing his time. So he has no one else to listen to him. Maybe there's some other staff that was talking to him, just kind of blew him off. Try and help him out the best you can. Refer them. They have inmate kites, their communication forms. Maybe request for them and ask them if they filled out a communication form to that person. Just anything like that. Just treat them the way that you like to be treated, but don't become friends with them. They're human beings, so just try and respect them. They'll respect you the longer that you're there. Starting off, they're gonna hoot and holler and maybe call you names, maybe call you a new fish, stuff like that. But just in one ear and out the other. If you go up to an inmate and you ask them, hey man, you're not supposed to be doing that, or hey, you need to secure your door when you're not in your cell. They might give you grief for it, but they heard what you said to them. You don't have to repeat yourself. If you want to, you can. If it's escalating, handle it by the way that you were trained. Just remember to document it if it seems unusual or, just anything. Ask for help. If you need help and need extra staff there, get extra staff there. Don't try to handle things on your own. You're a team. You got other staff there that are willing to help you out. Basically, I don't know what post anybody's going to be at, but you might be at one and you might be training there. You might work there for a few months. It is what it is. So just remember that corrections is going down the road as rehabilitation. They don't want these guys to come back. We're wanting to try and help them as much as we can. Get them to, there's a lot of programs going on, programming stuff. So hopefully we can lower the numbers, and then it'll make it a little bit safer for all the staff, because there's not that many people working in corrections right now. It's a new generation. A lot of the old timers are retiring. Pay is not really increasing because the market and everything else that's going on. The state might be doing other stuff with pay. So There's plenty of overtime there to make up for your money. Yeah, it's very stressful at times. It's a mind game. If you can't stand people screaming and yelling, hooting or hollering, or the risk of maybe getting assaulted. But it's all on how you handle the situation from what I've seen for my 6 years as a corrections officer. So basically, if you have any other questions, please feel free to comment below, like my page, go ahead and share my page, and hopefully you can subscribe. I have a lot of other videos on there. I'm a storm chaser. I do that as a hobby outside of work on my days off, and there's a lot of videos on there for your enjoyment. So there'll be plenty more to come. Hopefully I can do more of these videos, answer some questions if anybody has any other questions. Just remember, corrections is a great field. It's always going to be there. The pay is iffy. There's plenty of overtime hours if you want it, and you're not going to get calluses on your hands. So it's a pretty relaxing job at sometimes. And as for family life, expect to be at work a little bit more than at home, and make sure you have a supportive family for what you want to do. So again, if there's any other questions or comments, please feel free to put them down there, and I will answer them as soon as I can. Thanks, and good luck with your career.